So now we're going to turn to English, and we're going to get the presentation from the INCITE team in Sevilla. And hopefully we have Jose Gonzalez, who is a project officer at INCITE at the Joint Research Center in Sevilla. Jose, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning all. Can you hear me well?
Yes. So you are welcome to make a presentation of INCITE. Tell us everything about it. We are so curious.
Okay, give me 1 second to start sharing the presentation. Am I sharing already? Or?
Yes. But you can make it, it's not in presentation mode now.
Okay, give me 1 second. I will try differently. What about now?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, so thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank to the Swedish Environmental Protection Agency for organizing this amazing event, because I will repeat myself probably, but we are in the process of launching INCITE and getting us be known. So it's very important to do this type of event in order for everybody to be aware of what's happening, because for sure in a few years, INCITE will be very well known, very well established, but now we are in the process of doing so. So we need really to do this journey together and to all contribute in order to get the best possible outcome as soon as possible. No? So I would like also to thank the director of the agency and also Isabella Tirchia for the nice presentation, very encouraging, very explanatory. So I think that's very important, really to get everybody in the mood to do this together. No? So thank you. So this will be my presentation. First part, we will make an introduction to INCITE and to the INCITE activities and main milestones. The second part, after the break, will be presented by my colleague, Vanessa Ferreira, that is also with us. In the second part, Eric Arias, that is the coordinator and the first leader of INCITE, will be with us. So in the second part, we will cover the INCITE platform, because it's very important that you understand how to engage with us. I don't want to spoil the content of my colleague. And the final part will be that why and how, no? Why to connect with INCITE and how you could do so. No? So I hope you find it interesting, and at the end you will have all our contacts detailed, because this is trying to encourage the mutual contact and to let us know each other. No? So what is INCITE? The presentation before, or the conversation before, has introduced what is the BRITE process, the Sevilla process, and how this is connected to the Industrial Emission Directive. So this is INCITE. INCITE is the acronym for the Innovation Center for Industrial Transformation and Emissions. INCITE is a new element of the revised Industrial Emissions Directive. It has been approved since the launching of the new directive, and this comes in order to bridge a gap, to fill something that was previously not very well established. No, that is all the innovation and the emerging techniques in the BRITE, no, in the Sevilla process. No, let's say that this part was never so well developed or not getting so much attention. No, because the second part, the definition of the base available techniques and the environmental levels, needed so much effort that these parts probably or sometimes were not well covered in the BRITE documents. No? This process or these centers now comes in order to bridge that gap. No? What we will do is to work permanently, year by year, in order to fit those emerging techniques to the technical working groups of the BRITE. No? So when a BRITE opens, there is a process, a start, an opening, and then everything stops until the next revision. So instead of doing so, we will be permanently working on that and investigating the innovation, what's going on, what is happening in terms of sustainability in the different sectors, in order to fit that information to the technical working groups and in connection with them. No? So, as it said in the slide, no, we are here to tackle industrial transformation. It's an addition to the Sevilla process, and it's a forward-looking mechanism. What is happening after the best available technique? What is in between that BRITE reviews? No? We are here to promote innovation and accelerate the uptake of green innovative techniques. We are going to look at 4 particular aspects: decarbonization, resource efficiency, depollution, and circular economy. When my colleague Vanessa presents the platform, she will talk about these 4 environmental aspects. So every technique or each technique that makes a contribution in any of these 4 fields could be of interest of INCITE. No? We would also look at trade-offs, because nothing is perfect, and sometimes to achieve something, it's at the expense of any other thing. So INCITE will assess and will give a balance to all those aspects, no? Also to economical aspect, no? We are also here to reinforce the competitivity of the industry. So we need to tackle all these aspects, no? And we will have an initial focus on the energy-intensive industry. I mean, the iron and steel sector, chemicals, cement, pulp and paper, glass, and later we will expand to the rest of the industrial emission directive sectors. So this is in a nutshell the way that we will interact and let's say our defining mechanism. No? So we are going to engage with a lot of different stakeholders. I mean, industry association, research and technology organization, technology providers, member states, and academia. No? Referring to member state, this, for example, is an initiative coming from Sweden, and we really appreciate a lot. I will say it, and probably I will repeat myself again, that really Sweden is being a role model. You are being front runner since the beginning. You are engaging a lot with INCITE, and this event is another example of that. So we really appreciate that. But also with other member states, we are doing a kind of similar initiative. So this is a kind of inspiration for others as well. No? So with all that exchange of information, events, meeting, and so on, then INCITE comes and start working from our center here in Seville, belonging to the EU-BRITE team at the JRC. So we will have 2 main outcomes. No, it's very simple, but just to simplify our output. No, one will be the information in the platform. This is specific for each technique. We are going to assess techniques, how is the environmental performance, trade-off, and so on, as I informed before. And then another key outcome will be the annual technical report. So every year, this year will be the first one, INCITE will publish a technical report summarizing all the work that we have done, not only looking at particular techniques, but also to the sectors. The expectation or the definition of that annual report will be a kind of sectoral assessment. No? I will cover this later as well, because the point here is to really being able to compare innovation in different sectors, to assess maturity in order to input that to the BRITE process review, as I will mention now. No? Because in this, the main beneficiaries of the outcomes that we are going to produce, first of all, will be the member state authorities, the industry, environmental NGOs, because we are connected to the Sevilla process. The aspiration of INCITE is to become the main hub for innovation in sustainability in Europe, but with another particularity is that we are connected to the Sevilla process. We cannot understand INCITE without this link. No? So our outcomes, our results will be directly fed into that process. This could, for example, influence the BRITE prioritization. It was mentioned before, the BRITE process review, the Sevilla process. So based on our report, we can conclude that a sector has innovative, mature enough in order to open a BRITE review, or maybe it doesn't. No? So this will be another input. Let's say that in order to open a BRITE process, it's not ourselves who's going to have a saying. There is also another factor, like for example, age of the BRITE indeed. No, if a BRITE is old enough, so this is another kickoff point for opening that. But our outcomes are going to influence that, or the expectation is that we can have this in order to speed up or slow down some BRITE reviews. No? Also, the policy makers and the analysts, let's bear in mind that in JRC, we do science for policy. That means that at the end, we are going to produce something that could influence the policy maker. In what way? As I said before, that annual report will identify technology gaps that could really be filled through our intervention. No? If the sector has not enough innovation in order to achieve the decarbonization goals to 2030, 2050. So probably this will be an activation mechanism in order to derive or prioritize funding or research and innovation priorities. No? And also another beneficiary of us could be financial institution or investor, no? Because we can steer financial support. No? Let's say that the European Union is now also trying to establish mechanism in order for the work that we do to be even more powerful, no? In order to give confidence to financial institution and investor. No? Let's say in the future, INCITE could be connected to a kind of seal. No? That's something that has gone through our center, could have an already approved situation, no? That will speed up project development, permitting, and so on, that at the end could be a support for that financial institutions and private investors. No? And also let me refer to that sentence that is here, that is written there. For example, in the last Metal and Action Steel Plan, there was a particular saying where you can find the importance that the European Commission is giving to the INCITE. Well, and I quote in there, our findings will be designed to inform financial support and investment decision of public authorities, financial sector, and private investors. No? You can see that many factors are coming in order to support the work of INCITE and really take the maximum out of it. Moving to the next, if I'm able to. This is the main activity that we do for the sectors, the energy intensive sector that I mentioned before. So we are doing a lot of work now in preparation of all the information, because I mentioned before, we do science for policy, and our science is based on data. We are going to have our conclusion based on particular assessment and detailed assessment of techniques and technologies and so on. So for doing so, we are really very active in engaging with all the main actors in innovation. No? So we are engaging a lot with industry association. We are in permanent contact with Eurofer, CEFIX, Emburo, CEPI, European Aluminium. So all these industry associations are really finding the importance of sharing, the importance of INCITE, and all collaborating with us since the beginning, working with us to identify innovation, guiding us in order to find the most relevant ones. So really, I cannot say I only can say a nice word about the cooperation that we are receiving from industry. Really, everyone is perceiving INCITE as a positive mechanism, no? As a friendly mechanism in order to speed up that innovation that is good for everyone. No? We are also engaging with technology providers. We are doing one-to-one interviews with many providers in order to understand the techniques, in order to get all the details that will allow the detailed assessment that we do. Also, leader coordinator of this project, we are contacting Innovation Fund, project leaders, Horizon Europe, Clean Steel Partnership, Aspire, Process for Planet. So we have a list of already identified projects, checked with industry association and technology providers, and we are in the process of having these one-to-one interviews. No? Let's say my colleague Vanessa will cover the platform that is an open mechanism to get information, but these interviews are also serving these technology providers or project leaders to facilitate the exchange of information. No? So it's a kind of breaking the ice. So we connect with them, and it's a kind of initial step or previous step to start the exchange of information and the final submission to the platform. No? And as I mentioned before, the collaboration with member states is being very proactive. They are engaging with all our activities, meeting, organizing webinars. Again, highest appreciation to the front runners, Sweden, but also coming to our initiative. I will mention later a few sectoral workshops, site visit. So really engaging with us and understanding that we need to do this journey together. No? Another important activity that we do from INCITE is sectoral workshop. No? What is that? Sectoral workshop is hybrid meetings involving the main stakeholders, again, industry expert, technology providers, relevant industry association, member state, research and technology organization, NGOs, It's important that we count on the views of the society as well as the civil process, and also relevant commissions direction, no, like ENF, RTD, GROW, Clima, ENER. So these is a particular forum to showcase and exchange on the most promising technologies, pathways towards sustainability. No? It's an opportunity to be all together in the same room, plus the people connecting online, and really exchange on the situation of this. No? So this kind of events really is a kind of a boost of everything that we are doing. So there is a previous work in order to prepare that, identification of technologies, discussion with presenter and so on. And then everything is put on the same table and exchange with all these stakeholders. And really the outcome is an acceleration of all the things that we are doing. No? I will mention in particular the iron and steel that just happened a couple of weeks ago here in Seville. No? And another important activity that we do and also mean at speed up in our work is site visit. No? What we do there is to visit the first of a kind plants in conjunction with plant operators, industry association, member state of the local countries or neighbor countries interested also in visiting that plant, commission representative, in order to understand what has been the main hurdles, the obstacles, really to understand the situation in industry. No? We are scientists, but we are also industry experts. Me, in particular, comes from the chemical sector. I work 15 years in pharmaceuticals, refineries, chemical recycling of plastic. So really having a background connected to industry that allow us to really understand quickly what is the situation there, what are the problems that they have experienced, in order to share that with the rest, the member state, the rest of the industry, and so on, to unblock this type of situation for the future. No? This site visit, we already have made a couple of them, a couple of rounds, I will mention later, and have proven to be really positive in order to continue growing that knowledge at INCITE. No? Let me go to the next one. So this is in a kind of nutshell the main activities that we have done since the launch of INCITE. You have a reference there. INCITE was launched in June 2024. There was a big event in Seville. The first picture at the right is from that event. This is our Director General from JRC launching the event at Seville. It has a lot of impact, a lot of people in the room, and also web stream and people connecting remotely, with a lot of importance for the European Commission, being published at the European Journal. So really getting a lot of attention and creating that momentum for us to really be known and start collecting information and doing our work. No? I want to thank as well Swedish representatives that were here, as well as some companies that are front runners and really sharing examples. Like I don't want to mention, but Cantal, Hybrid, Stegra, these are really companies that are with us since the beginning, sharing state of the art and letting others know how innovation in sustainability could change the current situation of the industry. No? So in September 2024 was our first round of visit. We went to Sweden. We visited those companies that we mentioned before, and this was coincidental as well with another launch event from INCITE there with the Swedish industry. So again, you can see the relevance that your country is having in all this journey. We want to thank again for that. In October 2024, there was another big event that was the launch of the platform. We will cover that later, but this is an open web page in order to get information of the innovative techniques that are happening in Europe, also with a mapping tool to do so. So now we are really in the process of getting information there. It's normal that the first step of that takes some time and we need to break the ice, but now we are starting to see the first technique and the first people really being there and starting to engage with that. No? We will cover at the end, and we will give some messages about really counting on you and needing your support on that. No? Then on March 2025, we did our second round of visit. We went to Germany, to Belgium, and to France, again to the iron and steel sector. I didn't mention that before. The site visit in Sweden were also connected to the iron and steel. Why so? For two reasons. First, we said that First of all, we will focus on energy intensive industry like iron and steel. But second, iron and steel is probably the first BRITE that is going to be kick off after the ones that are already ongoing. No? So for that reason, we are doing a lot of effort there, and we are dedicating a lot of our resources in order to really have a picture of this sector, no? To be fed to that technical working group in order to influence the opening of that BRITE. No? So for that reason, we visited some sites in conjunction with Eurofer, in particular where ArcelorMittal site. And in those visits, we were able to check different technologies that are ongoing there for carbon capture, for making products, all the downstream fumes for the blast furnaces and so on. No? So really, what's very instructive, and all those work help us to prepare for the workshop, no? Iron and steel workshop that happen later. No? That will happen in May 2025. I will cover that in a particular slide. But this was the first sectoral workshop organized by INCITE. Let's say that it was an important milestone dedicated to the iron and steel for the reason that I already mentioned. And this was really an amazing event. It was the first of this kind. The next one will be on cement. I will mention that, and we will fine-tune something that you can always improve. But the general perception of the attendees is that it really served for purpose, because everybody was able to interact and to really have an understanding of what was going on, no? In the innovation of the sector. I will cover in more detail in the second part in the next slide. Then, now talking about the future, we are planning to do some site visit and launch event with the chemical sector. This is being prepared with CEFIC, the Chemical Industry Association, just after the summer. And also in October 2025, we are preparing the second sectoral workshop. This will be dedicated to the cement, lime, and magnesium oxide production, with the same reasons that the iron and steel were the first one to be covered. The cement is the second one in the pipeline. So that's the reason that we are dedicating our effort to that. No? You are kindly invited to do so. The participation of Sweden was brilliant. I will cover that in the next slide. Then at the end of this year, we are planning to produce our first report. This will be the first annual report from INCITE on innovative techniques. What can you expect from that? No? So probably the extension in which the different sectors are going to be covered won't be equal. No? This is a kind of limitation that we will solve for next year, because we can expect that the iron and steel will be very well covered based on all the work that we have done already and all the resource dedicated. And in the second will be cement, lime, and magnesium oxide for the similar reasons. The other sectors, energy intensive sector, will be as well covered. I mean, chemicals, that we are working on that, pulp and paper, glass, and so on. But probably the one of the main outcomes of the report will be comparison between sectors. And we can expect that at this point, the comparison won't be so powerful, no? In terms of scoreboard, indicators. This is an ongoing work, and probably the second report next year will be much more powerful into that sense, no? But in any case, the first INCITE report will be comprehensive for the iron and steel, for the cement, lime, and already presenting pathways and situation for the rest of the sector. So really presenting a kind of state of the art in the innovation for the industry. No? And also another important milestone for next year will be the INCITE Commission implementing decision. What's that? This will be a document published by the European Commission, DG Environment, in which our functioning will be established. And why we don't have that on the table now? Because we are learning by doing. We are doing many things now. For example, the workshop, the site visit, the process to analyze techniques, the way in we interact with the member state and stakeholders. So we are doing a proof and error, what things are really working, what are the mechanisms that are more effective. And when we have, let's say, a time or some months of functioning, we will be in a position really to say, this is what work for INCITE. And then this will be commented with member state and the Article 13 forum member, that is a kind of active group connected to the Industrial Emission Directive, in order to stamp the way in which INCITE is going to function. So this will be another important milestone happening next year, and that will cover all the things that I'm presenting to you today, the way that we operate, but in a kind of procedure, in established decision from the European Commission. So let me get a little bit more in depth about what happened here in Seville. The first INCITE workshop in iron and steel was an amazing and remarkable milestone. It happened a couple of weeks ago, 13 to 15 of May here in Seville, and we have an amazing participation of 280 attendees, 77 in person, and over 200 online. No? Let me say again that the participation of a Swedish representative was remarkable. We have two representation of the authorities here, Eva Bergal and Mattis Persson. Mattis even made a presentation on behalf of the member state, so you can see that the weight or the importance that Sweden got in that presentation was amazing. No? Also, the kind of the Swedish team presenting technologies dedicated to iron and steel was remarkable as well. I don't know by memory, 7 or 8 presentations were covered by Swedish representative company. No? So really, you can see this is remarkable, and I want to thank you again, your active participation with us. No? In terms of participation, getting into more detail, you can see there a kind of summary. There were 95 representatives from industry. That is very relevant, including industry association. No? Eurofair, of course, has a relevant role, 7, 8 representatives from the delegation, but also in the room was CEFIC, was Euromines, and others, and also connected online, Fuels Europe, and many others. No? 23 providers of technology that make those presentations. 34 European commissioned of agencies. No? So you can see the importance that this workshop and activities from INCITE is getting at the highest level of the European Commission. These are agencies connected to innovation program, HADEA, CINEA, and as well as directorate from GROW, from COMP, really the ones influencing the development of those projects. No? Indeed, GROW and RTD made some presentation about a new funding mechanism for those projects and the connection with INCITE. No? There were member state representatives, 75, many in the room. There were many, 2 from Sweden, 2 from Italy, 2 from Spain, but many others, Belgium, France, Germany, and others, and connected online as well, a huge representation. Let us say that the room has limited space, so we cannot take everybody on board, but we managed to get the member state with more active participation on the sector. So at the end, the setting really functioned well for the objectives. For the second workshop, other ones in the future, we will review this type of setting according to the objectives. But for this type, it worked very well, the room, and we achieved the expected outcomes. No? Other countries that were not part of the European Union were also there. People from United States presenting, UK, Bosnia, many others. Academia, it's important to connect with university. We have a relevant presentation from Lund University and other also attending and making presentations, Laben and many others. RTO, associations. Finance, we have some BBVA active on the room, but many others attending. NGOs, we have a presentation of a think tank presenting about a report recently published on iron and steel, but also EEB participating online and really being active and making questions and letting their voice, the society view, being present on the meeting. No? And we also have other international organizations. No? So at the end, with all this setting, we managed to present 22 technical presentations, 22 innovative techniques. No? That's really remarkable. And everything was organized in blocks. No? So we have 5 decarbonization pathways. So technical presentation or innovative techniques group in purposes, so carbon capture, DRI, all oriented specifically to the iron and steel sector. And at the end, we also have a kind of block dedicated to the circular economy and industrial symbiosis, no? How the iron and steel industry can connect with others. No, there was a presentation connected with cement industry. So in that way, we have a kind of cross-functional view on the interaction in industry. No? So that worked really well. After the presentation in blocks, there was a kind of open debate where people were able to make questions about permitting, about maturity, about environmental hurdles. So at the end, we managed to gain a real understanding not only of the particular techniques, but also on the situation of the pathways and the generic situation of the sector. No? So just in a nutshell, that the objectives of the workshop were bringing together for the first time all the relevant stakeholders to discuss the state of play in terms of innovation and the iron and steel sector, and the subsequent exchange of info. After that, the momentum is best possible. So we are really engaging now with all those actors in innovation in order to get information published and submitted to the platform. You can see there at the right, for those of you that are not part of the Sevilla process, this is the room where normally always the Sevilla process take place. And in the second picture, you can see the team that participated in the workshop. You cannot see the faces there, but I can promise you that there were very good mood, very good momentum, because this is a safe place. This is a friendly mechanism for everybody to be open, for everyone to be open and to share knowledge, because our intention here is to gain the maximum for the effects for the sector. No? So this is all I wanted to present to you in this first part of the presentation. The second part will be covered after the break. I hope I managed in this 20-25 minutes to present you in a nutshell, in a few slides, what INCITE is, in order to really start with you that journey, and to let's say awake in you that appetite to engage with us and to help us to build INCITE, and for it to become an influencing mechanism, a key mechanism for the sustainability of the innovation in Europe. So that's all from my side in this first part.
Thank you very much, Jose. So now we're going to have a short break, and then your colleague Vanessa will show us the platform. Ja, så nu ska vi ta en liten bensträckare innan ni får se den spännande plattformen som Josés kollega Vanessa Ferreira kommer att visa. Och glöm inte att ni har möjlighet att ställa frågor också om ni går in på frågor och svar eller Q&A nere i verktygslisten. Så ställ gärna frågor, så kommer vi sen att kunna få en möjlighet att ställa det till José efter de har visat plattformen. Men nu tar vi en liten bensträckare och samlas igen klockan 10.00. Så välkommen tillbaka. Då ska vi fortsätta och vi ska få titta på den plattformen som José nämnde i sin presentation. So I would like to call for Vanessa. Are you there now? Vanessa Ferreira?
Yes, hello, good morning everyone.
Yeah. Great.
Can you hear me?
So please, we are so excited now to let you show the platform. So please go ahead.
Yes, of course. I will share my screen. Just 1 second. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, good. So, hi everyone. I am Vanessa Ferreira, Jose colleague. And well, I'm going to share with you some information about the INCITE platform. And well, let's start. And then Jose will follow up with the why and how you can engage with us with a little bit more information. So, well, we have the INCITE website, which is publicly accessible, and it is within the European Commission website. So it is a website that is embedded in the Commission website. And you have the link here. I invite you all to check information there, because we have in the news, we have also questions and answers about the INCITE and what we do here. And if you go, you can check the About Us to have a little bit more information, and then also the news that we update after we have a site visit, an event, or a workshop, so you can follow up what we are doing and what we are achieving in this journey of launching INCITE, as Jose commented to you. I also specifically invite you to read the news about the first INCITE sectoral workshop on iron and steel. We have there a summary of the event, and you can also share this in social media. It would help us to keep up this momentum that Jose said, and to spread INCITE. And as I mentioned before, we have the frequently asked questions, and then maybe you have some doubts, and then you can find there the answers. But of course, if you want more information, you can always reach out to us, and we will be happy to explain more and go into specifically details. And well, in the innovative techniques section, you can find a map with the innovative techniques we have already found and included in our website. And you can also filter the innovative techniques by name, by environmental purpose. You can look for TRL, type of funding, country, sector, and the status, which means if it's planned, it's under construction, operational, or decommissioned. So currently the website just launched, but our idea is to populate this platform to have more information and to really be a point in which we have everything collected and facilitate the analysis, the assessment of these innovative techniques in a transparent way, and also that can be helpful for different stakeholders. So here I put an example because you can click in the specific innovative technique that is always linked to a pilot site or a specific demonstrator. So it's not that a technique is just, for example, carbon capture. No, it is a specific demonstrator of this innovative technology that we count for. And I put here an example of a site in Sweden. And then what you can see when you click is the basic information of the demonstrator, what it is about, the TRL, if it's connected to a project, also information about the project. You can see the coordinates and where it is in the map. And also the reduction in terms of CO2 emissions and energy consumption. So this is what basically we summarize here. And of course, we also highlight the environmental purpose of this technology, if it is decarbonization, energy efficiency, and for which industrial sector it is relevant. In this case, for example, it is large combustion plants. So, well, if you click in Add Innovative Technique, and we expect to receive your technique there, you go to submit your innovative technique. And first of all, you need to log in into the Commission website. So you are able to include the information. If you don't have an account, you need to create an account to be able to submit the technique. And then You find a form that is very detailed. Some parts of this form are obligatory and other parts are not. They are optional. You can include information or not. And you will have 8 different sections. The first of all is basic information. Then if it is connected to a project, you need to include information about this project, where the technique is being implemented, the production, environmental benefits, cross-media effects, economics, and privacy statement. I'm going to show you a bit of some key sections. So for example, in the first part, the basic information, you need the title and the description, a short description of the technique. The environmental purpose, you can select if it's decarbonization, energy efficiency, water efficiency, material or circular economy. And you need also to include relevant alternative techniques so we can compare the current innovation with the baseline. And also very important, the current status, as I mentioned before, if it's on feasibility or if we already operational or planned and so on. And the technology readiness level. Here, we want to highlight, as we are looking for technologies that can be implemented soon, we aim at technologies with TRL 6 at least or higher, with a special focus with first-of-a-kind plants. And it can be also that this TRL 6 is planned to be achieved. Maybe now it is lower, but at the end of the construction of the project, this installation or demonstrator will reach TRL 6. And then here we have, if you go to the I, that is with the TRL, you can see the description of each TRL level. So well, also information about the location of the demonstrator, also the coordinates, so we can show it in the map. And the environmental benefits, we would like to know the greenhouse gases emission reduction, also the energy efficiency to understand the capacity of reduction of in terms of greenhouse gases, heat, electricity, water, and so on. And here you can see like the information, for example, how this data is collected, if you have measured it, if it's an estimated data, or you expect to achieve this reduction by a specific year or when the plant is running. And in terms of greenhouse gases, you can select which greenhouse gases you will have data on, and then we calculate the amount of greenhouse gases in CO2 equivalent. And I will go to the last part of this questionnaire, that is the confidential business information, because of course you can submit all this information to us, and we encourage you to include as much information as possible. And so we can really assess the technologies, but of course we will only display in this public website the fields that you agree on. So in this last part, you can select what information you don't want to share, for example, production data, energy consumption, project leader, and so on. And we will only disclose your information that you agree on. And well, I also wanted to tell you that in the INCITE website, you can find a complete offline version of this questionnaire that has all the details and so on. and I invite you to go there and see everything, so you can see the specific information and everything. And also, of course, you can contact us to just tell you and guide you on how to do this process. And well, of course, this slide is very important because once you submit the technique, it's not that it goes directly to our website in a public available form. You submit this, and then we go with the INCITE teams, all the colleagues, we screen this information, seeing if it is complete, if it is within the scope that we want. And we can also publish this as under review or not. But basically, we do this initial screen, then we compare with the BAT, the best available techniques. And then usually we make a follow-up with the submission with the person that submitted this technology. We can have a meeting or ask for more information, clarification. And then when everything is in order, and if the technique really fits our purpose, we accept and publish only non-confidential business information on our website. So basically, this is all from my side. And then we can continue with Jose. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Vanessa, for this nice presentation, very clear. We want also to add that we have covered the main points of the platform, what normally we receive questions about, but there are also other fields like cross-media effect, where you need to include, as I mentioned at the beginning, potential, let's say, not so positive effect or compromise that the technique has, or some values on economics that we also take into consideration. But everything is explained in the questionnaire that Vanessa has mentioned, that we could even share after the meeting with all the attendees, for you to be more familiar with the information that is requested on the platform. No? And let us also add that these one-to-one interviews that we are having with technology providers and project leaders are being proving very beneficial in the two ways, no? Because it's an opportunity for starting this conversation about the information on the technique, no? Because sometimes just to face the platform, I think it's easy, we think it's straightforward, but there is always a first step to do that you can unblock with this conversation with us, and this is a supporting process that we do with you. No? So, as we promised at the beginning, let us finalize this presentation with the why and the how. The why is that lies why to submit techniques to the platform. What is the benefit that you could have in doing so? No? What to engage with this INCITE-team in Seville? No? So we have summarized there a few bullet points. For example, there is benefit for a project in particular. So when you start this process with us, that journey is a first step for a potential identification of a technique as a candidate for something. I refer in particular to candidate because at the end it's not INCITE what categorize something as one of the categories that I will mention after. It's the technical working group that is participating in the BRITE. No? But we are, as a previous step, no? We will do a filter and we will proportionate, we will provide that techniques to the technical working group of the particular BRITE. No? So this is a first step. No? And at the end, this provision of the technique could identify your technique as emerging. This is a particular category in the Industrial Emission Directive. And when a technique is categorized as an emerging, you have a special permitting consideration for testing. So you have up to 30 months derogation to meet the environmental level. So you can see that there are a special exemption to do some testing, no, for a while. No? After that period, you need to comply with all the referred BAT. No? But you can see that there is benefit on that. No? You can also be identified at deep industrial transformation, gaining up to 8 year flexibility to comply with updated permit condition. And at the end, you could even be categorized as best available technique if during all the process, the technical working group considers so. No? And then you become a sectoral reference. This could give you sectoral advantages, competitive, and so on. No? So This is important to know that my colleague mentioned about the TRL, that is the technical readiness level of a technique, the maturity of the innovation. So inside, we will start to look at techniques at 6, 7. That means something that is already in a pilot level, not laboratory or R&D. And after, this information is passed to the technical working group, but only techniques in levels 8 or 9, the definitions are there in the questionnaire that we will provide you, is what the technical working group we will consider. No? Let's say that inside in the proactive mechanism, we will start investigating technique earlier, but only the mature enough techniques will be fed to the technical working group. No? There are also benefits for the sector, no, in general. No? So when we do things like the site visit and the workshop, at the end, we are sharing all this information at sectoral level. So all this is contributing to the sectoral assessment and scoreboard. The information that I mentioned that will be included in the annual report. No? So at the end, all this could be a mechanism, a leverage to influence politics in order to get funding mechanism, to bridge gaps, or in order to serve a prioritization mechanism for the environment. No? And also at the end, the sector could gain competitive advantage for faster permitting. No? For the investor as well, at the end, all the work that we are doing and all the support that the INCITE will give to that techniques will provide confidence in the strategic allocation of investment. No? I'm saying so because all of this is to be created. No? We are encouraging you and asking you to engage with us because when we do so, we can gain all that range of benefits. No? But it's something that we need to do together. And for sure, as I mentioned before, very soon INCITE will be consolidated and will be able to provide all these benefits. No? And just to finalize this why, let me unblock some potential resistance because this process is safe and always supported by us. No? So there is the confidentiality of information that my colleague Vanessa mentioned when presenting the platform. The platform always allows you to select what you consider confidential business information, not to be made public. Also, the platform has the highest possible security, level above European standards. So all the information that is submitted is encrypted. So in case we had a hijack attack, nobody will be able to get anything. The EU-BRITE Bureau has been working with confidential information of operators for many, many years with no issue at all. And this platform has a higher security. No? And to end this slide, let me repeat that this is a user-friendly questionnaire, simple fields to fill, and you will always count on our direct support to do this journey together. And this is something that we can activate now. Just when completing this webinar, you will have our details and we can start interacting. Next slide, please, Vanessa. So this is the final slide. How can you contribute to INCITE? No? This is a best possible example, is this webinar, but we need to promote together INCITE and to spread the news. No? INCITE is a recent mechanism, so it has been just created 1 year ago, so we need to spread the news. No? So we really appreciate if you include INCITE mentions and presentation in environmental events, promotional meeting, etc., and you refer to the potential and opportunities when talking to others. No? You can always get information from us, like this slide, for example, that we presented today, in order to spread the news and to get all people and other stakeholders also interested in INCITE. No? Also to participate in all the range of activities that we presented before. The workshop, I don't need to repeat that here because even Sweden participated very actively. Site visit, when we do visit in your country. Also engagement meetings, every time that we are having online meetings with technology providers, with industry association. I know that the audience is wide, no? So there are different stakeholders there. So really, you are very welcome to interact with us and participate in all our activities. No? Make contact with INCITE. In the next slide, you will have our contact details. So we need to know, go to the previous one, please. I will share that later. So it's important to let know each other, no? So really, what is the potential, what is the benefit, how to collaborate, how could benefit each other, no? So these presentations have give you a general overview and feeling, but please contact us. We are having these particular meetings with industry associations, RTO, not only with technology providers, but also with organisms, so we can really discuss how to further collaborate in order to gain mutual benefit, no? And at the end, and this is fundamental, submit information on techniques to the INCITE platform, or alternatively, interact with us in order to get that information. No? This is fundamental because our assessments are based on a science, and the science will come from these real cases and the data that you provide to us in order to lead us to conclusions. No? So the final message, count on us. We really count on you. And let's do this journey together. We need you to do something remarkable about of INCITE. Thank you very much. I don't know if Eric Arias is with us. He's our coordinator and funded, the first leader. So you are able to give a few words because it's still 2 minutes to finalize.
Yeah, thank you, Jose. Yeah, give me the floor. Sorry, I wasn't here at the start, and I jump in if that's okay. So yeah, Eric Arias. Yeah, I was there last year at the launch of INCITE and meeting organized by Eva Blixt. I mean, first of all, I would like to thank everybody in Sweden and also the Swedish EPA today who is organizing this meeting for us because we believe it's an important project, and really in Sweden it has been really active from the start through Eva Blix and the Steel Industry Association, but also now EU, the member state competent authorities are really taking up this project. You have seen recently, I think the iron and steel workshop that we did. We think it was a great success. Not everything is perfect, as mentioned by Jose. You know, we are starting. We have developed this platform. This platform, I think, appears a bit scary to some people sometimes. So we may not have seen the flow of information that we were expecting. But that is not such an issue. I mean, we are exploring other avenues, like explained by Jose now. Especially what is very important now is those one-to-one meetings that we have with the project leader and technology providers. That's very important. And they actually submit directly information to us. And we are planning in the future to upload this information in the platform. So that's another way to look at it. That seems to work very well. And we are progressing there. So yes, thanks a lot for this meeting today, and very happy to have this opportunity. And thanks to Vanessa and Jose who guided you through this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. And then we have some questions now, actually, from both from me and from the audience. And it's to Jose, I guess.
Yes, please go ahead. I'm very pleased to take your questions.
Yes. So first of all, how do I know that my technique is of interest for you in INCITE? If I have a technique developer.
Yes, very, very relevant. The environmental aspect that INCITE is going to look are four, no? Are circularity, the pollution, water resource efficiency, and I'm missing one, decarbonization. Okay, so any technique that covers or that tackle any of these four aspects is of our interest. No, now when you submit a technique, the workflow that my colleague Vanessa explained, then the assessment process starts. So we need to really understand the real benefit of that to don't be a commercial platform. No, we really need to have something that makes the result, the expected result. Also looking at trade-off. No, so these four environmental aspects will be the basic or the starting point, and after that, assessment and looking at trade-off and real gains.
Mm. Okay, and if I want to submit technique, is it possible to get support from you in this platform, or?
Of course, and this is something that we are really promoting, as also Eric just mentioned. We are really open to be always in contact with you, so you will have our support to understand all the fields in the platform through the questionnaire, or even as an alternative avenue to start discussing your technique based on one-to-one meetings and questionnaire as a previous step to the final submission to the technique. No? But if anyone is not having the time, it's not complicated, but we can have this one-to-one meeting and full support from our side to do so.
Sounds great. Okay, let's see if we have some questions from the audience. My colleague Frida is here. Have you gotten any questions from the audience?
Yes, we have. First question is, what size of companies can engage with INCITE?
Thank you. So we have very important question. We have a wide range of companies engaging with us. It could be a particular technology provider, someone that has developed a technique and already has some examples to show. It could be a big company, like a kind of important star of the sector, the big fishes on iron and steel and chemicals and so on, because they are leading that transformation. So it can, the size of the type of company is different. No, it could be people leading the transformation, people providing the technique, or really it can be different approaches, all to be assessed by INCITE.
Yes, thank you. Very good. And we have another question here. It's quite long, but I'll read it. Does INCITE simply include technologies, or could it also be solutions in a broader perspective? For example, if there is an off-shelf technology used in another way that no one has done before, resulting in lower emissions, or industrial symbiosis solutions in new innovative ways, but with off-shelf technologies, could that also be added to the platform?
Indeed, we are looking to all kind of positive techniques having a cross-functional benefit or that symbiosis that is mentioned there. So this is the type of thing that we can discuss in this conversation. So you have the minimum question. If your technique could be of interest to us, please contact us, because at the end it could be only positive for both to have this discussion and to understand whether your technique is really expected or will sum into this journey. No? But I can anticipate that per the description of the question, that will be of our interest.
Perfect. And we also have some more questions. I'll go on. Yeah. Is INCITE more for technology suppliers, or why is it important for a steel or mining company?
I have not understood correctly, Frida, the question. Could you repeat?
Yes. The question is INCITE more or only for technology suppliers, or why is it important for a steel or mining company? Why do you want to engage with both suppliers and companies?
Okay, steel, mining, all those sectors are part of the Industrial Emission Directive. Mining was a recent addition, so they will be part of the Sevilla process that will, iron and steel has already a brief published a few years ago. Mining has started the process. So all this sector, as part of the Industrial Emission Directive, will be also in the focus of INCITE. We will start for the energy intensive industry. So every technique, every technology provider that is contributing to that, we already have several examples on iron and steel, but we also have in the mining sector, we already have either received through the technical working group or through our innovation search. We are in contact with providers European-wide. So we have identified a few techniques that are just emerging. Emerging, I mean starting, not just categorized as emerging, that are starting to be deployed. So it could be of interest of the BRITE process and the technical working group. So all those sectors are part of the focus of INCITE.
Okay, thank you. Do
Some
we
more?
have
sure.
time? Yeah.
Go on.
Then we have a question about the annual report. For the annual report, you mentioned to do sectoral assessment and comparisons. Based on which parameters?
Okay, this is still to be defined in the process that we are following, but you can expect that the parameters that we are going to analyze or to compare will be the ones coming from the platform. No? So environmental benefits, greenhouse gases emissions, also maturity. In order to compare sector, we need to give a view of the maturity of the innovation in the sector. So the TRL coming from the different techniques could be a comparable parameter as well, and an important key indicator of our report. No? So you can expect inspect all these environmental parameters, also cost impacts or implications, no, of the technique, no, a kind of general assessment of summary of the real benefits of the different techniques presented in order to be part of the sectoral assessment. No? So comparing maturity, compare environmental benefits, and so on. Still to be defined, but this is what you can expect.
Thank you. And we have time for one more question, right? What TRL levels are of interest?
Okay, so inside we will start looking at something about 6. This means something that is already implemented, at least at a pilot scale. No? We are not going to engage with R&D project or laboratory ones. Probably it could be something that we discuss internally, but will not be part of the platform or our dedication. No? Because we need to really accompany those companies to speed up the innovation. No? At the end, the technical working group in a brief study or deals with techniques in a higher level, higher maturity level, 8, 9. So our intention is to really have more techniques prepared for that. No? So we will start to look in advance, 6, 7, and in order to help those companies to understand the situation and to speed up and to feed the information for the brief process review.
Yes, thank you. And one more question I see here. Is this only for technologies developed within within Europe, EU, or technologies from other parts of the world?
Thank you. This is a very important question, and I think I didn't mention in my presentation. Indeed, the scope of INCITE is wider. So the mandate of the European Commission, if you go to the Industrial Emission Directive, tells specifically about a wider scope and not only focusing Europe. No? This means that we can investigate what is happening all around the world, and indeed, we are doing already some contacts with the agencies in the States or in some Arab countries in order to see who is active, who is doing what. We can admit that our main focus or primary focus is in Europe for many reasons, but the scope of our work, and something that for sure will be more developed in the future, will be also worldwide, not only European.
Thank you, Frida. Last question for you, Jose. How can we in Sweden support the INCITE journey? I mean, both Sweden and the actors here.
Thank you very much, because in this could be a good end for the presentation. I cannot ask you more in some way because you are really front runners on the interaction with us, but what can ask all member states and Sweden in particular is to engage with us, to participate in the activities that we organize, to run activities in your own, like this webinar, that is a fantastic opportunity to spread the news of INCITE. Also, as I mentioned INCITE, every time there is an environmental conference or a discussion, because the more that the people know about the INCITE, the more benefits that you could take out from. No? You have our contact details in the presentation that we could share with you. So please engage with us, contact with us, and the more we do together, the more benefits that we will gain out of INCITE.
Thank you very much for participating.
Thank you for organizing. Really appreciate that.